episode 8, season 2 finale, The Bring of Death. And ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the end of Lara Croft's Tomb Raider, and I thought it was a very historical and informational, enjoyable season. And yes, so like I said, we've reached the end, and it's your boy Icon with a final Tomb Raider review for you. I mean, I did hear rumors that this was going to be the final ever season, but the way the season ended, they left it on the cliffhanger. So nah, like we're definitely going to get a season 3, and I hope so because I'm like really enjoying this shit. And like I said, check me out all over social media. Check out my previous 7 reviews for Lara Croft Tomb Raider, The Legend of Lara Croft, and let's get started because good old Ishu finally has his mask, and the trickster is back. And it's funny because they told, like, once he got the mask, like he immediately opened a portal. And if you're a Pokemon fan, they basically stole that from Hoopa. He's basically doing the Hoopa ring thing, which it was kind of funny. We're back on the island from where his people come from. And then Laura's just like, yes, she's like, we have to make a stand, because they'll be here any minute. And he's like, what are you talking about, woman? And then she basically told him, like, the entire time, because I've been saying it too, like, Fig, she's been basically this Amazon broad. She's been following them all over the place. And Laura's basically had her under surveillance this entire time. And then she even told Ishu, she was just like, look, this chick's been following us like since day one. And then she was there when we were at the church at the celebration. So she know, and that was the thing, because she was just like, oh, they know that you're, that you're one of the gods, and they know that you have your mask back. And then we cut to a scene where Fig called Mila, and she was just like, oh, you're right. He is one of the Ashe or the whatever. He is one of them. He's one of the gods, and they found his mask. And I'm like, so he was with y'all the whole time, and you didn't know that he was one of the gods. I was like, wow. That explains why she never tried to kill him. And I guess that explains why she never went after the other sister, because she already had one healing mask, so she probably figured, what the hell do I need 2 healing masks for? But then I'm like, you weren't gangster enough to go after the mom. Like, she never went after the mom, and I thought that was like very telling. But anyway, so now, like, she told him, she was just like, yeah, she said, he was like, so your plan was to lead her right to my island with my people? And then she was like, yes, because this is where we'll make our last stand. And he's just like, Jesus Christ, woman. So he goes to the people, and then he tells them, he was like, I need your help. It is time to fight. And I thought it was crazy because the people at the church, where they were having the celebration and they were laughing and they were dancing and everything, when Laura gave him the mask and he put the mask on and it transformed him back to what he was supposed to look like, and he opened that portal into space and time, all of his followers saw that. And everybody was just like, holy shit, like, that's him. That's the god Ishu or whatever. Not once did he turned around and like smirked at him, but he could have said something he could have looked, because the thing is, he was at a low point and he was literally ready to give up all hope. And these people clearly still believed in him. These people still followed him. These people still, carried his legacy. I'm like, bro, the least you could have did was just look at them and be like, thank you for your faith. Your faith in me will not, go to waste. Or, like, just tell, he could have said something. But anyway, he goes back to the island, and then he talks to the people who are at the island, and he tells them, like, we must prepare for war. So they're getting ready for war. They're getting their swords, like their knives, their arrows and everything together. And he's happy to see that his people are willing to fight, but he also feels bad at the same time because he's like, oh, they're going to get slaughtered. So now we're here. Mila's on the way. She's here. The figs are here. Like, her soldiers are here. They take a stand. And then, even Sam said, she was like, Laura, is this enough? And then she's like, it'll have to be. And then we even got a classic Lara Croft Tomb Raider costume change, because like in the video game, you can change and purchase like multiple different costumes. Laura got a costume change, which was cool. And so now, like, Laura, Sam, and Ishu, they're all standing there. Mila shows up with her crew. And then she's just like, oh, it's the trickster, like the god of death. She's just like, why don't you just give up and give me your mask, because we all know you're a coward and you don't have what it takes. And she said that, you're going to let these people down like you let them down before. So why don't you just turn things over to somebody who can really, really do something for the people and step out of the way. And then Laura's like, you think we're going to fall for that nonsense? And then he dipped, and I was like, oh shit. And then even Laura was like, what are you doing? She was like, hold the line. And he was like, no, Laura, they are correct. He's like, I am a coward. And then he left, and I was like, oh shit. But then we also got a backstory about how he even got his power. Come to find out, he told Laura and Sam, he said back in the day, his aunts and uncles and his cousins, who were really bad people, they tried to basically take down his father. They tried to kill his father and steal his father's power. And Esau was the one who saved his father. So because he saved his father granted him with the power. I mean, I don't know what his original power was supposed to be, but he can transport. He basically has like teleportation where he could travel through space and time. He's a shapeshifter, so he can change into different animals. I assume he can change into people. But he said that what his father did for him, his father gave him the power to be able to take the power from the other gods. Or he can spread their power out to multiple people. So if they need water for something and their mother isn't enough, he can give the water power of the mom to other people so more people can have water power. Or if somebody tries to get too powerful and they think that they're more powerful than the rest of them, he can take their power away from them. That's why they said he can steal in both like death and both reality. So, and he told his dad, he said that anytime his dad needed somebody taken care of, he's the one, he's the one that he calls, you know, which is wild because it's like you need to have a fail safe just in case somebody does get too powerful. Now, when he said that, I thought he was going to take the powers from like all the other gods and give them to Laura so she could fight Mila. But that's actually not what happened. So Laura's left alone because he dipped on him. Like Laura's there, like Sam's there, they're fighting. Laura basically tried to give her the speech and she was just like, "Oh, what are you doing?" She's like, "I thought you were better than this." And then Mila was like, "You giving me a hero speech, bitch?" She even said in the previous episode, she was like, "The ovaries on you was like uncanny." But then she used like the poison death power. She used it to basically like poison Laura and she almost killed Laura. But then that's when Ishu came back. He didn't run away because he was a coward. He basically realized, you're right. I'm not strong enough, but I know people who are. He went and got his mama. He went and got his sister. And the three of them together, along with Sam and Laura, they took on Mila and they fought her entire crew to try to like take her down once and for all. Fig ran up on Laura, so they had their final battle. Laura actually, Fig had a knife in her hand. Laura knocked the knife out of her hand and then she like sliced her across the face. And then Laura put the knife down because she was like, "Bitch, I don't need this shit to bust your ass." So then the two of them went fisticuffs and then, Laura took her down. And then after Laura took her down, like the poison that Mila was like trying to do to the island, it got a hold of Fig. And then Fig was like, "Help me, like I don't want to die." And then she was like, "You should have thought better about who you put your trust into." And the Laura just dipped her. I like how you just Aquaman this bitch. She straight up was just like, let the sea, ask the sea for mercy. I was like, not the Aquaman finish. And then, like Laura left her to die basically. So now like they're all fighting her. Like, Mila, like she's basically beating everybody. And then she ran up on Issa and she's just like, "Oh, you're a coward. You ain't shit, blah, blah, blah." And then Issa basically got mad. He was like, "How dare you?" He's like, "It's about time I put the respect on my name." He was like, "You are on my island, bitch." He was like, "I am the trickster, the bringer of death. I am, the most powerful god of them all." And then he basically proceeded to bust that ass. And then he started taking the mask from her. Like her sister came in and she was like, "This is my sister's mask. It does not belong to you." And then, after they took one mask from her, they took two masks from her. Then the mom came through and basically speared Mila in the gut and pinned her up against the wall. And she was like, "You think you can kill my children and there will be no consequences." And then after that, they basically, like, Issa took all the masks. And this was crazy because when Issa took his brother's mask and his sister's mask and his other brother's mask and all the masks plus his mask was like floating around his head, the mask changed color it changed because Issa had on black and red. So the mask changed to like the red and black color to symbolize like Issa, having control of all the power. And then basically he used all that power to disintegrate Mila and basically killed her and put her 6 feet in the dirt. And then that was pretty much it. And I was like, wow. So. And he's not one for like mushy goodbyes, like he told Laura, he was just like, "Oh, thank you for believing in me." He was like, "But although your physical presence meant nothing because you almost died." And then, he was just like, "Oh, but because you believed in me and you believed in my people and you helped save, like my people and help save my family," he said, "I will grant you each one favor in the future." And I feel like in season 3, they're going to call that favor in. Then he took him home. He took him back to Croft Manor. Zip was there and he saw them and he was like, "Oh shit, teleportation in your pocket." And then after that, we get the epilogue where Issa basically took the mask of his fallen siblings back to his daddy, and he told his dad, he was like, I'm sorry I couldn't save them. And then his father picked up the mask, and then he said, son, it's time that we rebuild. And I assume that means they're going to basically take the 4 masks that belong to his fallen siblings, and they're going to find new hosts for those masks and, new people that deserve them and can take over. So that was actually a nice moment. It would have been cooler if the entire family was there, but, the fact that it let us know that the dad's not a bad guy, like East was there, so that was pretty cool. Laura basically ended up telling the government, she ratted out all the people that basically acquired their artifacts by nefarious means. Laura basically snitched on all of them, and then the feds came in and raided everything to return those items to where they came from. Laura donated all the items that her father stole. She sent some of them back to where they belong, and the other ones, she donated to a museum. So that was nice. Zip said he was going to go to Africa and see Africa. I don't know why he didn't do that shit, but he could do that shit anytime he wanted, but he's basically going to go back to the motherland, and I don't know what everybody else is doing. Laura said she's staying home. Laura was like, fuck that. She's like, I ain't going nowhere. She's like, I'm going to be right here on the couch. She's like, yo, if y'all need me, I'll be on comms for once. Fuck that. And that was it. It was a nice ending. And then we get an epilogue where this black girl now, thank God, because we've been getting all sorts of finally we got a black female villain for Lara Croft. And apparently her and Laura used to be friends, because it was somebody, she held up a childhood photo of her and Laura when they were kids, and then she was in the desert somewhere. Fig showed up, and then the black girl said to Fig, she's like, I knew your boss wasn't going to be able to stop Lara Croft. She's like, I tried to told you. But she said that if you want to learn how to defeat Lara Croft, why don't you stick by somebody that knows her better than anyone? And I thought she was going to be like, that was her half sister or something. Her daddy slept with some black woman and had another child, and this black girl is Laura's half sister, but she was just like, I know Laura better than anybody. And I'm like, that's weird, because the French girl, then there's Sam, that. Now, unless that was Reyes, that could have been Reyes, because I did say earlier, because since this whole thing is based on the video game, remember we had Jonah, we had Sam, we had Roth, we had Reyes. Reyes was the one black girl. She was like, don't give me that bullshit, Laura. That might be Reyes. If that's Reyes, and Reyes ends up being the villain for season 3, I'm all take my motherfucking money. But that was it. See, I just got myself excited now. So that was it. That was how the season ended. Season 2 of Lara Croft, Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft, and thank you for tuning in. So yeah, we'll see. What are your predictions? Is that Reyes? Are we gonna find out that was Reyes? Is this basically some new random person? Because that's the only character from the video game right now that's not accounted for. So share your questions, comments, and concerns down below, and let's continue to talk about it. Check me out on X. Check me out on TikTok, on Instagram, and YouTube, where you can leave those questions, comments, and concerns. What is your thoughts about the season finale? Did you like how it ended? Did you like Issa's character, how he made his transformation? What do you think him and his daddy going to do with the mask? How do you think they're going to rebuild? And what happens in season 3 with this black chick? Let's share your questions, and we will continue to talk about it. So that was it, guys. Yeah, so thanks for tuning in. Anybody that watched my reviews or my short reviews up on my YouTube channel, Merry Christmas to everybody, because it'll probably be Christmas by the time you see this video. Happy New Year to all. And I look forward to bringing you some more goodness on Red Eyes Entertainment in 2020, the rest of 2025, 2026, and beyond. So till next time, guys, till next year for Red Eyes Entertainment, take care. Love you always. And we're out this